This isn't just another scary story meant to entertain you. This is something that really happened to me, Michael Johnson, when I was just a kid growing up in a quiet little town in the United States. I've told this story a handful of times in my life, but every time I do, I feel the same chill run through me, like the event itself is still hanging over me, unfinished. And to this day, I still don't have a clear explanation for what cut me that night, or what has followed me ever since I was 10 years old at the time. My family lived in a 2-story house that creaked whenever the wind blew. It wasn't a bad neighborhood, but the house was old. Older than my parents realized when they first bought it. The wood was brittle, the wallpaper was faded, and at night, it always felt like someone else was awake in the house besides us. Still, I was just a kid, and kids don't think too much about these things. That night, I went to bed, as usual, pulling the covers up tight against the chilly autumn air, completely unaware of what was about to happen. In the middle of the night, I woke up. My cheek felt wet. At first, I thought I had drooled in my sleep, but when I lifted my hand to wipe my face, my fingers didn't come back damp. They came back red. Dark, sticky blood clung to my skin, and when I touched my cheek again, I realized it was pouring from a deep, jagged wound. I hadn't felt pain, only the strange sensation of warmth sliding down my face. My heart thundered as I stumbled out of bed and down the hall. When I burst into my parents' bedroom, the look on their faces said it all. My mother screamed, clutching her chest. My father jumped from the bed and grabbed me by the shoulders. My cheek was gashed open, blood spilling fast enough that it smeared across my pajamas and the carpet. They didn't waste a second. My dad grabbed the car keys while my mom pressed a towel against my face, and before I could even process what was happening, we were rushing through the quiet streets to the hospital. Under the harsh hospital lights, the doctor cleaned the wound and stitched it shut. 8 stitches, he said, right next to my eye. The doctor kept asking what had happened. Was there glass in the bed? Did I fall onto something sharp? Did an animal get into the house? But we had no answers. My parents kept looking at each other with pale, silent expressions. And me? I just sat there trembling, too young to make sense of it, too scared to ask what had cut me. When we returned home, my parents immediately tore my room apart. They stripped the sheets, flipped the mattress, and ran their hands along every inch of the bed frame. They checked the windows for broken glass, the walls for exposed nails, even the floorboards for splinters. Nothing, not a single thing, sharp enough to cause a wound like mine. The whole time, I sat in the hallway watching them, bandages covering my cheek, my small heart pounding as if the house itself was holding a secret it wouldn't give up. A week passed, and life seemed to settle down, though I noticed my parents whispering to each other late at night. Then one afternoon, as my mother was changing my bedsheets, she froze. I'll never forget the look in her eyes. On the pillowcase, just beneath where my face had been resting that night, there was a slit. Not a tear from wear and age, not a frayed line, A clean, straight cut, like something razor sharp had passed directly through the pillow and into my skin. She showed it to my father, who tried to brush it off as old fabric tearing, but the way his hand shook told me he didn't believe it either. Things might have ended there if it weren't for what happened the next time I woke up in the middle of the night. I wasn't bleeding this time. Instead, I woke to something cold. At first, I thought it was just the chill of autumn, but no. This was different. It was concentrated, focused. A finger, icy and deliberate, tracing the line of my fresh scar. My breath caught in my throat. I opened my eyes slowly, terrified of what I might see. And there it was. In the corner of my bedroom stood a figure. It was pale, almost glowing against the darkness, with hollow eyes that stared straight at me. In its hand, it held something long and thin that caught the faint glow of the moonlight. It didn't move, it didn't speak. It only stood there, watching, as if it was waiting for me to fall back asleep so it could continue what it had started. My body refused to move. My voice refused to call out. I just stared back until in one blink, the corner was empty again. After that night, the house was never the same. My parents began hearing things too. Soft scratching in the walls, footsteps in the hallway when no one was there, doors creaking open on their own. My father dismissed it, tried to keep us calm, but I could see the way he avoided going upstairs alone after dark. My mother, though, was different. She started leaving the light on in my room, as if she knew that darkness gave it power. The weeks dragged on, and the presence only grew bolder. I would wake to faint whispers, like someone muttering directly into my ear. Objects shifted in the night. A picture frame crashed to the floor while we ate dinner downstairs. And every so often, I felt it again, that cold fingertip brushing against my cheek, as if the scar was a mark it had left on me, a connection it wasn't willing to let go of. One night, I dreamed of it. Or maybe it wasn't a dream at all. I was lying in bed, unable to move, while the figure stood above me. Its face was blank, but its hollow eyes gleamed with hunger. It raised its glinting hand slowly, deliberately, and pressed the sharp edge against my skin. I woke screaming, clutching my cheek, certain I would find it bleeding again. My parents rushed in, but there was no new wound, only the same scar, burning hot, as if freshly carved. Eventually, we moved away from that house. My parents never admitted that it was the reason, but I knew. We packed up quickly, left town without looking back, and settled in a smaller, newer place. For a while, things were quiet again. But the scar never healed completely, always faintly visible, no matter how many years passed. And every so often, usually in the dead of night, I would wake to the same feeling, that icy touch against my skin. Now, as an adult, I've accepted that whatever happened to me wasn't an accident. Something marked me that night, something I can't explain. Something that doesn't care where I live or how much time has passed. The presence has followed me. I hear the faint whispers sometimes. I feel the cold brush against my cheek. And more than once, I've woken to see the faint outline of a figure standing in the corner of my bedroom, watching me in silence, waiting. The scar is still here. It has never gone away. And I know, deep down, I will never be free from it. Because every time I wake, in the middle of the night, every time I catch my reflection in the dark, I see it standing just behind me, silent, hollow-eyed, still holding that blade, still waiting to finish what it started when I was a child.